Okay everybody, we are canning peaches today, and I always like to get the Colorado peaches. They just seem to hold up better, they're bigger, and when you blanch them you don't lose any of the meat, so I just find that they can best. So we're going to start that. First we have to blanch the peaches. So this is boiling water. We'll drop peaches in here for 30 to 60 seconds, and then they go into a ice cold bath of water to loosen the skins, and then we peel them all off. So we'll do that next. Here's our little bowl of ice water waiting for the peaches. How easy they will peel once you blanch them in boiling water for 30 to 60 seconds and then drop them in a bowl of ice water for a few seconds, and that's all it takes. It's so easy, and look at how beautiful these peaches are. Okay, now you want to cut your peaches, and I cut it in half, and then I go 90 degrees, cut it in half again, and then cut at this, like in between those quarters, because you want to cut it into eighths for pint jars, and then again in eighths. Okay, then you want to kind of just put your fingers and thumb in the middle, and you'll feel the pit, and a couple slices will peel off or come off, and then they'll just, some you have to coax a little bit, and they'll come right off. And then you can just fill your jars, fill them to about 1/2 inch, and then you're going to put your syrup in there too. And then you just pull off the pit. And there's sometimes the pits become, like the peach's nut gets rotten or something, and when you open it up it'll be half the nut on each side and it'll be kind of rotted. That's okay, just peel it out so you don't get any of that. And some people like to keep a pit or nut, whatever, in the jar. I don't do that, so that's all you do for that. And then, like I said, pour the syrup up to 1/2 inch, and just make sure you got 1/2 inch headroom here, because when you can it, you don't want it to seep up out of the lid. And we'll show the next step after this. Forgot to have it on. Okay, so we filled it up to 1/2 inch with our simple syrup. And then we're just gonna get the air bubbles out, and you put a little spatula or knife in each side and press on the fruit so the air bubbles come out. Wipe off the top so that there's no juice or any kind of residue on the top of the jar, so that the seal seals properly. And then Scrubby's going to get the last lid out of the boiling water, and what that does is it softens the rubber around the rim, and it'll give it a good seal. And then you put on your ring, and off you go. These I use wide mouth and regular. These are regular jars, this size, and then these are the wide mouth. Wide mouth are a little bit easier to fill with the fruit, but it doesn't matter which one you use. You just have to make sure you have the right size rings and lids. So these are going to go into the water bath. We've got some in here already. I don't want to peek, but you can kind of see them in there. And they boil for 24 minutes and they're done. Okay, now here's the difference in the lids and rings. The lid, of course, goes on top of the jar, and there's regular size for the smaller rim jar, which is this size, and then there's wide mouth, which again is a little easier to fill the jar with your, like, especially for tomatoes and sometimes peaches. And then the ring is the same size as the lid. And one thing you want to keep in mind is the lids have to be sterilized and boiled in water, because then it softens up this rubber rim and that gives a better seal. think I'm too close. And then these can only, you know, like once you open your vegetable or fruit, you can keep it in the fridge with this, but you cannot reuse these next year. The rings you can. But if they start getting bent up or rusty, I throw them away because you want these to be a perfect seal. And so after these get banged up after a couple of years, you know, just go out and buy new ones. You can buy a box like this that has rings and lids. See where it says screw bands and lids? But after you get your supply of rings, you only need to buy these little boxes of the lids. Because, you know, these will last a few years. I've got some probably even 10 years old that I've just, you know, if you wash them, keep them nice. Yeah, and these I found at a garage sale for 10 cents, as you can see. So look at garage sales. People will sell these all the time, as they will jars. Some jars you can buy with the lids and rings in the box. Most of them sell them as a whole unit now. But like I said, after that, once you have your rings, you only need your lids every year. And this is our bluebarb pie. It's blueberries with rhubarb. And we're going to freeze these. Just, you know, we bake them and freeze them up, and you can have them all winter.